Hello, everybody. We are back for another session of Coyote and Crow, which is I'm sure I have the reference somewhere, basically a decolonized future RPG. And we've run a couple different sessions up until now. We were kind of dropped off in the middle of some excitement last time, so we're going to be kind of joining back up where we left off. I will begin our round of introductions. I am Christina. I am the story guide for the session. My pronouns are she or they. And yeah, how about you, Emerald?
Oh, I am Emerald. Thanks for introducing me. Um, my name is Emerald, pronouns she, her, and I'm on the social media team for GeekGirlCon. I today am playing Nazizi or Zizi, and their pronouns are they, them.
Awesome. Jenn.
Hi, I'm Jay Fun. I'm on the Twitch content producer team. Haha, I said it. Sorry. I'm playing Natchu, so if Natchu goes Achu, it's because I got a cold. Um,
Very good, very
so
good.
yes, there might be a little bit of snot within the game. Yay!
Oh, and Tina.
Yeah, I'm Tina. I am also on the social media team. I don't have a cold, but oh wait, my pronouns are she, her. I'm playing Masi, who also has a she, her pronouns, and I have a little fox friend today being played by
Nice.
my friend's puppy Stevie. So if you see me running to let Stevie outside, don't worry about it. We're good. Um, yeah, happy to be here. Excited.
Stevie.
Awesome. Yeah. So
Stevie,
I
aka
guess
Coo.
cool. That's right. Yes, thank you.
Cool.
For a minute, I was like, yeah, I was like, cool. couldn't quite pull it up. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of try to I figure we'll skip describing the entire world this time because we kind of since we're kind of in that 2.5 area. So I'm just gonna kind of go over what happened last time as much as I can. I'm going to be reading off of something or referencing a list, so it might be a little bit uh stuttery as I kind of go through and try to remember what we had happen. So I'm gonna kind of go chronologically. Last time we kind of let in there was a spring festival that's happening in the city in Cahokia. Oh, sorry, I said I'm getting feedback. One
There we go.
second. Is that on somebody else's side?
I think that was on my side.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Sorry about that.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't on mine and that I had that my Twitch was streaming audio. It's like, oh, go to the next tab.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, there was a spring festival that was kind of taking place. Everybody was doing all their preparations, and things seemed to be going well. People were selling their goods in the marketplace, etc. But then we kind of got a little bit of preview into things starting to go wrong. Masi and Ku were out practicing agility, and they saw a massive flock of ravens flying into town. Natchu was teaching some herbalism and sharing the wisdom, but then had a negative interaction with a mugwort plant. Don't remember exactly what it was, but
Unexpected side effects that shouldn't have happened.
Yes,
yeah,
the
yeah,
side effects.
yeah. Zizi was at a flea market and was doing some shopping around. Found a cool gadget, a gyroscopic gadget, and then witnessed people being upset about some fruit that had started going suddenly very bad and was just rotting away and unexpectedly. And then, so as those were the first signs that something was going wrong, and there started being sightings of strange beings around town, ravens gathering at places where people were getting sick, reports of accidental poisonings, unexpected side effects from herbs. Nichak called you all in and kind of clued you in that Siyat are out in the field dealing with food shortages, unpredictable medicines, stockpile problems, they confirmed that it's the Audinati in the plant. So they'd had their researchers look into it, and the DNA of the plants, the Audinati, which is like the gift from the spirit, from the Great Spirit, was messed up, and their technicians kind of determined that this is coming from some kind of influence, that something has been changed. So you've been asked to investigate it. This is a lot to cover, so I'll try to like cover more. Like if you want, you can also just chime in on stuff you remember too. Like I don't have to keep talking.
But you're so good at story guiding, talking, catching us up. Just
Yeah.
oh, and then what? It's like I already know, but
It doesn't
I
hurt
don't
a
remember.
refresher.
know
So
some
I'm
of
just
it. Yeah,
playing it
let
off.
me clarify.
The refresher is for all of us, yeah, including me,
Yeah.
because I also was like, I didn't remember. So yeah, there's a lot of distress happening in the city. People think, oh no, like the Great Spirit's unhappy with us or something. Why? They don't really know. They don't know the stuff that Nichok and the intelligence people know. Masi Walk the Black saw that there were changes in spiritual auras that suggested like a sickness or miasma affecting those areas of the city and those plants. Nichok gave you a couple options, and you chose to go and investigate the strange being, and collection of ravens that you were seeing. And so where we had
Raven
kind of left,
Wizard.
yeah, exactly, yeah, Raven
Yeah.
Wizard.
At the tea house.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you had gone to the tea house, and you did find that a Raven Wizard there, and I think Masi was the one who actually spotted this invisible figure perched there. Natchu also recognized that something was wrong with the tea that people were about to drink, that people were drinking in there, and she went outside to warn it, Zizi and Masi. But then you all continued your conversation with the Raven Wizard. And I'm
Oh,
trying
right,
to.
because Masi like lured it over there with her pain.
Yeah. I sacrificed I was feeding it with my pain.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we cut a deal for some information in exchange for. I was like, you could eat some of Zizi's pain, and they were like,
Yeah.
no, we want the delicious pain of Masi-Khan. So,
That
but
very
long
flavorful
story short,
grief.
they were like, right, both of you, and then now we have like one less soul point. So they took a big bite out of our soul.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and I don't know if either of you are you tracking that on a sheet. I did not track how many you lost.
Yeah, I just
On my
lost
side.
one.
Okay. I think it was like one for you, or maybe 1 to 2 from Masi.
I think it was 2 for me.
I think it was 2.
I did definitely have more damage.
Yeah.
Because my
So.
soul points are already like kind of
Oh,
like low
it
end.
says 1 for me right now, so I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
maybe it was only 1.
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe only managed to get one point off of you.
I think
So
I
yeah,
was
you made the
healing you at
deal.
some point.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that might be. It might be that Natchu healed a point
Yeah.
for Masi, and
That's
that's
right.
why Masi only has 1 point missing. Cool. Nice. Yeah, so the Raven Wizard did let you in on some info, and this is something I did have to look back up into, or I had help looking into, which is the things that the Raven Wizard told you, which was that they think of there's another group involved. The Raven Wizard knows about them. They think of them as their cool friends, because these cool new friends have been making feasts for them of essence, of negative essence, of pain and suffering. They've been using a spray on plants that's been affecting the plants. And the Raven Wizards have been following around where these people have been spraying, and they've been feeding on the suffering of the people using them. But these friends are some kind of organized group that's orchestrating these changes to these plants that are causing so much havoc. So that's kind of where
And we
you
were like,
were.
what are they getting in return? Like, what are the organizers or the people behind the Raven Wizards? What are they getting out of it? Is because and you were like, oh, they just like it serves their purposes to have there be like kind of chaos around right now.
Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they wanted the Raven Wizards to just keep doing what they were doing, because it was just increasing the distress that was happening around the city, and that seemed to be what they wanted. So that's kind of like where we left off with the Raven Wizard in that conversation. And I'm going to kind of drop you into a little bit of an active moment here, because as you're all talking, you continuing your conversation with this Raven Wizard and interrogating them, and from the tea house nearby, all of a sudden havoc breaks loose because they were still drinking the tea. People there were continuing to consume the tea as this conversation has been happening, and several people that are at the tea house at the outside tables, and some people inside, suddenly are doubling over in pain. They're screaming. There's just an outbreak of people freaking out, and you suddenly have a huge emergency on your hands. As this starts to happen, the Raven Wizard seems startled, but also kind of cackles and just is like, and then it like disappears, vanishes from your view, and you're just left with what's happening around you, with the people falling suddenly very ill.
Didn't I make something for
Not
the
ideal.
tea house?
You made like a protective. Let me see. It's you warned Zizi and Masi. You had, I think, helped with a specific person's tea potentially. You made a protection ritual, but it sounded like that one was for. It was like a protective, but it wasn't necessarily like. It was protective, and it would reduce the effect. So there's fewer people that are affected by. What's going on,
Cool.
but some people just didn't make their checks. In other words, some people still rolled badly in the drinking of this tea. So there's a number of people that are suddenly in a bit of a crisis mode. So what do you do?
Panic.
Yeah. Are we still
Roll a
going
check
in the
to
order?
panic. If whoever has an idea what they would like to, how they'd like to go forward from here, go for it.
Can you say a little bit more about the chaos? Like, are they puking? Are they wailing and screaming? Are they just running around in circles? Like, what does it look like to us?
So, you see kind of the signs of multiple, just like kinds of signs of sickness. Like there are just multiple people. There's people who are doubled over in pain that are falling to the ground, that are, clutching their stomachs. There are people, like I was going to kind of be vague on the very specific descriptions of getting,
Food
violently
poisoning.
ill. But in some
Yeah,
cases
sure.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Makes
food
sense.
We don't need that
poisoning.
detail.
Yeah, of course.
I-
Yeah.
I feel like when we left off, like Zizi was like on the ground, like they were like, "Oh my gosh, this monster ate some of my soul," and that's kind of like
Yeah, I'm still recovering, I would say,
Yeah.
like just trying to put the walls back up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do
I
you
was
guys leave
making
me? Are you
a
leaving me?
powdered supplement that will go into the air and help clear, as they breathe it in, like the elements that are hurting them. And as I was making it, I sneezed, unfortunately, during the whole thing, and it all went on Machu.
oh no.
And a little bit went on Zizi, but unfortunately Machu and Ku got most of the germ
Me.
and the powder.
Masi.
Matsi, sorry. Matsi.
Yeah.
I put everything
Masi,
together.
yeah.
Matsi, yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes. Yeah, so you got like healing snot.
Mhm,
Congrats.
mhm.
Great. So I think
Oh.
Zizi's still like on the steps, like, wow, part of my soul is gone. But look, those people are in distress. So
As I
so
got
they're probably like,
snot on my
no,
hand.
stop. Put the tea down. Ugh.
Okay, so you're kind of like, a couple of you are still recovering. Natchu is kind of trying to attempt this, and so Nichak, I from a previous session, I think you might remember that Nichak sends a little drone dragonfly that accompanies you on these on your missions, at least so far, and uses that to communicate with you from remotely. And at this point, their voice comes through, and they're like, is there any, are you able to do anything? Can you make any headway on healing any of those people or stabilizing them? Is there any intervention that you can do? Natchu, is there anything you've got in your tool bag?
And Zizi like interrupts and is like, "What? No, I can just go over there and start knocking teacups out of people's hands." Just
I
like,
mean,
don't
that's something.
stop.
That's something. Yeah, for sure.
So proud of Zizi
She-
as she goes and just starts completely destroying things. I'm like, that's my girl. Yeah.
Like, there's just like porcelain shards everywhere.
After I sneezed all over Masi and like got everything on her and I realized she's recovering, I start taking more of the ingredients together and asking the big guy, what's his name? The helper with the drone. Nichak,
Nichak.
if he could send me a couple more drones so we can sprinkle the powder all over the certain areas that have it, or at least in the tea brewing and on the vegetables, so when people are eating, consuming, it would help them get better.
And I mean, if
Okay.
somebody was like, Zizi, don't you have like some herbalism skill? Come help. That would be more efficient. Then they would probably listen to you.
Well, I'm gonna let Zizi destroy, and then I ask her to come help because I feel like she needs to get this out of her system before
Their
she can
system, yeah.
concentrate.
Yeah.
Their system.
Their system, yes, their system before they can
Cool.
concentrate. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So like working with that, Nichak's like, yes, I can do that. I've got some drones in the area that were patrolling nearby. They can come to you and they'll be able to deliver that. They'll pick it up from you and then scatter it. Is that kind of what you had in mind? Like maybe they can do like a
Yeah.
drive by and like
Like a crop
Like a
dusting
dust, a crop dust,
situation.
yes.
Okay.
Crop dusting.
Cool.
I was like, crop circle alien? No, crop dusting.
Okay, so yeah, if you have like your Coyote and Crow app for some dice rolling times,
Heck
we
yeah.
can do some of that real quick and
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-oh, mine's not
Did you
letting
see
me
that
roll.
their actual dice are out now? Like,
Oh yeah, they've got
woo,
the
it looks
actual
so
like dice
cool.
sets. Yeah.
Okay.
I need to pull open both
Oh,
your
okay,
character
yeah.
sheet.
I printed mine out this time. I felt so. It's the one thing the cold let me do.
Yay.
Sorry for the pronouns.
It's tough. It can be hard to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Can.
I'm actually just really worried that I don't cough in everyone's ear on stream. It's like my main concern right now.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Not like
You're
you
doing
guys
good.
can catch it, but
Yeah. Oh no, the digital cold.
yeah.
It's transferring through my screen.
Mhm.
Ah.
Yeah, so you've got a really good, I'm looking at your sheet. You've got a really good herbalism and a really good medicine, and I think you could apply either in this case. The skill number like is going to be harder because of the fact that the plants are all messed up, so plants aren't quite working how you expect. So it'll be higher than the average, but because you have such a high score, hopefully that won't be an issue. And also if you run into an issue, you can pull Zizi in so that they can help with their
help you
herbalism
with
as well.
an assist.
Yeah.
Since you're
Yay.
training me in the herbalism ways.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for medicine and
Okay.
Z, leaving you to the herbs, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna do the herbs.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? I roll 5. Is that right?
So I think so the defaults,
Gotta be
the
more
dice
than that.
pool. Yeah, I think it's the total number that you have listed as your skill. So I think for your medicine, that's 9. You have 9.
Oh yeah.
So you can roll
perfect.
9 of them.
Yay.
And the number that I'm going to have you aiming for default is 8. I'm going to put that to a 10 because of the challenging changes that happen to plants that are being used.
Okey
The
dokey.
plant chaos.
I mean, I guess it is medicine, but usually, I mean, in this world, plants are very used in a lot of the medicines too. So it still kind of like affects how you like your success in both medicine and herbalism, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, you'll roll 9 of them.
Ooh.
Mm.
That
I
doesn't sound
got
good.
a 10 and a 12.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah. So
That's
then the
2.
12 you get to reroll and see if that's an extra success. If that number rolls.
Is that a crit or is that just standard? I forget.
It's a crit, yeah. Like it really like I guess it doesn't really matter which of the dice you roll, but it just helps you keep them separate. If you roll a critical
Oh,
die for the 12.
I got a 9.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, but it still counts as 2 successes, and so it's not a failure. Did you get any numbers that were a 1? Did you get any ones?
No.
Okay, cool. So you don't get it doesn't adjust you down or anything. So and also you can use focus where you spend mind points to adjust a die up or minus, but since you did make a success, I would say you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, not too worried about it. That's for
Okay.
critical times.
Yeah, yeah. So if Zizi wants to roll an herbalism check, you can hopefully help more people because this success roll is basically going to serve for how many people you can help in this situation and how many you can stabilize or heal or prevent from drinking the tea.
I will
Yeah.
do my herbalism check. I have herbalism 5, rank 2, so total 7.
Mhm.
Boop, boop, beep. And sort them. Okay, so wait, did you say okay, so I have a 10 and an 11
Okay.
and
Yeah.
no ones.
No ones. Okay, that adds a couple more skills. So yeah, you managed to get 4 people, which is a good chunk of the people that you can see around that are sick. There's probably another 3 or so that are seem to be in need of help. But oh yeah, sorry, I should narrate through what that happens there. So the drones come in. The drones come in. You're able to you create this thing. And the drones, you connect it to them. You know they're able to grab on with like little leggies, and they grab on and pick it up for distribution among the people. And so they deliver it for you, and those people stabilize, and they obviously are in less pain. They're able to like get back in their seats, even if they're still not doing great. Yeah. Meanwhile, so these people are getting better. The other people are now starting to help the people who were freaking out but didn't know what to do. That are just like other tea house guests. So
Why are you vomiting on me?
yeah, so they're starting to take people. They're escorting them out of the tea house and trying to like carry them off to like the nearby hospital. So it seems like the situation is beginning to get under control. And Nichak is like, okay, good job. That's good. Like it's better than we've been doing in some places. We've lost a few people this way, so I'm just glad to see they're being helped. I'll send another Suyata in from nearby, and they will kind of take care of the situation from here. So that like I think you are safe to continue working on your mission and just trying to figure out where this is coming from and what is going on.
And didn't we have like a couple options at the end of the last session where it was like we could go to the factory where the nearby factory or something?
Botanical gardens, hospitals, or tea houses.
Oh, and
Mm.
oh, okay.
That's what I've got. And we
And
chose
did we
tea house.
You're really quiet, Tina.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, no worries.
My mic went away. We had the choices were botanical gardens, hospitals, and tea houses, and we chose the tea house.
Oh,
Yeah, and this was kind of also an opportunity for all of you to evaluate what you know so far, and if you have a lead that you would like to introduce or a place that you would also like to check out, you are not limited to the places that were suggested before.
Masi, I've recovered enough, and I'm following up and just watching these do
you
their
just
the,
probably
these
hand
guys do their
somebody like a
work,
bucket.
stepping over people, throwing up on the ground. Like they're gonna be fine. Um, and I kind of pulled these two aside, and I'm like, this is more than what we can figure out. I think we should go talk to Awa. And then I just turn around and start walking toward Awa.
Okay, so yeah, just to like get a little background information is that Tina and I have coordinated a little bit, and this is a character that does exist in the Coyote and Crow universe, and this is someone that Masi knows of. I don't. It is very possible that that you will all have heard of this character as well, potentially through the grapevine. I'm trying to decide if this is something that I'm going to have you like roll to know whether you to see how much information, or if you just want to like catch up with Masi and be like, who? Which you could totally do. So
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Just gonna run after
I
her.
want to roll. I want to roll some dice. See if
yeah,
I
roll
know what's
some
up.
dice. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking that's like I have to remember what the skills are.
Not with
To
knowledge? Well, I guess I don't know who they are. I mean,
Ooh,
Emerald
no.
doesn't know who. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely played a little fast and loose on purpose with some of our skills because it's just to have more options. Like sometimes you can have like you have to have like a knowledge in a specific thing, but I've kind of been letting knowledge serve as like a more general skill in our game and homebrewing it a little bit, where it's like, yeah, you can just kind of say, I'm doing this general knowledge role because I think it's just helpful to have a way to do that. So yeah, I would be okay with that. Or I'm trying to think if there's anything else on here that really works. I think that knowledge is a general knowledge role is probably a good way to go for how much do I know about this.
Yeah, I was looking for like if there's like a history thing or like, but there's not. So knowledge was
Gossip. Like, where's the gossip skill?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
The tea. You
why
just spilled the tea. Let's spill it. For
literally
real.
you
All right.
just
we already
spilled the
spilled
tea.
tea.
Would have just
Yeah.
like slapped those teacups out of people's hands. So
All over the place.
So, yeah, go ahead and make it a generic knowledge check, and I'll make that like a this is a character that is somewhat known among people. So I'll actually reduce your difficulty on that to a 7 instead of an 8. And either of you can do that.
I
Masi has a little
accidentally
pre.
did 8.
Oh yeah. Yours is yours. Am I looking at yours? No, I'm looking at Jen's.
Which is a 7, but I accidentally I accidentally tried to roll 8 dice, so I just had to start over. Because I feel like they would have kind of an in on knowing who's who, since their family is like super like powerful and like knows stuff.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
like aware of people. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you have
what
a
was
connection.
the
Nice flex, Zizi.
What? Sorry.
I said nice flex. You're like, because my family knows everything.
My family knows people. I mean, I
know
don't talk to my
people.
family,
My
but
family knows
they know people. What was the number, Christina? Sorry.
I had it set so I think 7, because this is a somewhat known character. I was trying to decide if I should add an additional reduction because of your connections or not, and I don't know. It kind of depends on how hard 7 is to hit, honestly, and I'm not sure.
I nailed it. So
Did you? Okay. I felt like 7 should be good because it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
No zeros. And then my
okay.
extra roll
Or
is an
1s.
11. Or no
Okay.
ones. Obviously, there's no
Yeah,
zeros.
like you are intimately familiar with this character. Then I would say, I would.
Like your uncle.
Right? Yeah, you have like this super personal connection. Yeah, you've hung out. Yeah, no problems.
I think also because Zizi is obsessed with Masi and has done like research into, because Masi doesn't say anything, so she's had to find her own, or they've had to find information themselves. So they would probably also have that connection from my connection with.
I mean,
Ala.
Zizi's very curious. That's like their driving motivator is curiosity anyway. But especially since it's Masi and Zizi is like really wants to like be BFFs, they would definitely have looked into like anything. Oh, like
Anything. Yeah.
Masi said this one thing. I'm gonna like scrutinize that and analyze that for like a couple days.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I mean, this is a character. I'll give you what Zizi knows. I guess Natchu, do you want Jen? Do you want to roll? Okay.
That way it's just even. It's 8, right?
7. Yeah, for this one you can do 7, and you have I think 6 knowledge dice, so you can roll 6 of them and see how many you get.
Oh, okay. I think I printed out the wrong character sheet, so this is all funny to me.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
4, 5, 6.
Who am I?
I could
I
also
know, because it says knowledge, it says 5 stat, 4 rank, and I'm like, what? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's
1,
possible
2,
I have
3,
an
4,
old
5,
one
6.
too. I'm not sure.
I think this is because the numbers are all weird too. Okay, so I got a 1, but I got a 7, 11, and 8, and an 8.
Okay.
There is
Yeah.
a 1.
But the one just reduces that like total successes by 1, but you still got more successes than you did a failure. So it's still an overall success, and like it's still, how many does that that's still like 3 successes?
3, yeah.
3 successes, which is pretty dang good. So I'll start with kind of what Natchu knows and then what Zizi knows. And Masi has the most probably personal knowledge, so I'll go through in that order. So basically what you know, what Natchu knows is Awa is pretty well known in the community as being like the go-to person for cybernetics. A lot of people go to them for cybernetic assistance and installation. They have like top of the line equipment, so on and so forth. There's rumors that kind of go around about them, but they're kind of a little bit of a mysterious figure for anybody who hasn't gone to him directly. It is he. I just was using generic until we actually got into. But yeah, what you do know is, you've heard that he has a almost entirely artificial body. He's replaced pretty much everything on himself with cybernetics. Like you can see, that his arms and legs don't have skin, and that they're, he's got these joints and, these, just everything's pretty much mechanical looking. So that's what you've heard. You have not yourself seen him. What Zizi knows beyond this general, like, this is the go-to guy for cybernetics, is Zizi also knows that he has a pretty deep, like, spirit world connection, and that people also, like, he doubles kind of as a spiritual guide. And that he has, not a following in the sense of like people look at him as some kind of leader, so much as just like you go to like a yoga instructor, kind of like somebody who is a leader in the community, in the spiritual community, in the sense of like people show up for meditation circles with Awa, and Awa is known to be able to walk the black. And what you may even know, and this is something that, this is where I turn it over to Masi and to Tina, is, do you have what is your personal connection, if any, with Awa?
I mean, doesn't Masi have like a cybernetic eye or something? I mean,
Yeah,
wait,
so-
let me check the biography that I've written.
So Awa is who installed the cybernetics in my eye. And also because they can walk the black, that they've been he's been kind of a mentor for me, and someone that I go to when I absolutely cannot hold in any emotion anymore. And we do like personal meditation circle sessions, because she doesn't do public things, like that. That's not who she is. So he's
people.
definitely someone that I trust, but also someone that I don't really talk about, which is not surprise anybody probably. So
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Masi is exactly super forthcoming with a lot of private information to most people.
yeah, I guess he would also, because I am dabbling also in cybernetics. So he is kind of just someone that I learn from. He's a teacher, he's a mentor for me,
Sure.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So that kind of I think that maybe Zizi would potentially have figured this out or put it together. Even if Masi didn't say, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, that's probably what's up, because you know from kind of paying attention to Masi. Masi has gone and visited. Natchu doesn't necessarily know the personal connection, but so at this point, I don't know. Natchu may be sort of like, why are we going to the cybernetics guy? But I'm not sure. It's just kind of like, okay, what's the deal with this? You might have heard a little bit about like the rumors of the spiritual connection just through your own network, because you are, people who are spiritually connected. So maybe they've said, oh yeah, he's totally in the scene, and you were like, oh really? So that's possibly a thing.
Zizi's probably like, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Natchu is just more like, one of those laid back, chill kind of attitudes. And if it has to do with Masi and the personal stuff, she just gives them space and just goes along like, okay, there's probably a reason we're doing this, and we're gonna find out soon.
Trust that. Whereas
Yeah.
Zizi's like, wait, what? You know Awa? I knew it. I knew it.
Yes.
Zizi has like the height and the eye color and everything.
Yeah, you've got like the full biography. Yeah. So just to kind of like, set the scene in terms of that, he's located, I'm also having to reference things a little bit. Oh, there is like a skill check associated. Skullduggery would have been a good check that we could have. I guess it's like street knowledge. I forgot about
Oh, okay.
skullduggery.
Ooh,
Future reference. Next time we'll remember skullduggery.
What is it called?
Skullduggery? Skullduggery?
Oh, I
Is
see
it on
it.
there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Stance.
wondered what that was. I thought it had to do with bones.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten about it between.
It has to do with like digging.
I did. I was like, maybe we're getting
Skullduggery.
That's like
cybernetic dinosaurs.
sneaky,
I don't know.
shady stuff, right? Like, nefarious, dark side information.
Yeah, it was like the street smarts kind of thing, and I just totally blanked on that skill because I was like, yeah, there's something. But yeah, so you know that he kind of lives down in a lot of places are, as we've discussed before, a lot of places are connected with underground tunnel networks, and there's a maglev transit system that runs through the underground, and there's tunnels that connect directly to that, and he is in one of those. So you're able to kind of, since you all know kind of where you're going, you're able to take that maglev transit system down to the tunnels where Awa makes his home, and where he holds his meditation circles. So are you gonna head directly there? Does that seem good? Like kind of like Masi's already going, right? So
That's
are you all
so Zizi's already going, like
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just kind of shouting behind him that we need to stop at my little shop so I can pick up some extra stuff for along the way.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So kind of is there any like effect you want to see with that? Like you any like role you want to make or anything like to kind of I'm trying to think.
Well, I would have to pick. I would like to pick some herbs along the way just to check to make sure, like to see where the balance is and to make sure it's all chill before I start making medicine out of them and making everybody go to the dark side.
Okay, yeah,
Again.
that totally makes sense. Like, so maybe do a quick herbalism check to just scope everything out and make sure everything's fine, and that'll make it so that your future checks that are related to that will not be as like your skill number won't be as high to make a check. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and like do another herbalism check then, and let's kind of use that.
So let me check. I have herbalism as 8. What do you have it as?
I had it higher for you. I believe
Higher?
you have
Okay, then
yeah,
you
I think
have
it was
the
like
new one.
I have the new one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Cool.
You're gonna have to
that's
tell
okay.
me.
That's totally fine. I think that was usually what I ended up like. I like to have them up for that exact reason so that I can tell you if you're missing any information. Yeah, it looks like on the sheet I see you have an herbalism total of 10 because you had like 5 in the stat and rank 5 in that.
6,
You were very, very good at
9,
herbalism.
10. Sorry for the oral counting. It helps me right now because my brain can't hold anything.
Totally understood. No worries at all.
And what? So it's just a check, right? So I just roll it. Is there a default like I have to get above or?
So I'd say yeah. For this one, what did I have you do last time? I did like 10 because it's normally 8.
Oh yeah, 10.
Well, yeah.
10.
For this one because the plants are all effed up. Yeah, we're gonna go with 10. So how many? Let's see how many successes you get there.
Okay. Ooh. I got 2 12s.
Okay.
But no ones. No ones.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, so you can roll those for crits, or roll 2 crit dice to see if you get more successes on top of that.
Just got 9.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, I mean, it is a success though, and because of that success, I would say that yeah, you can in future checks, it won't be a 10 anymore to do the herbalism check. It will reduce that down. Yeah, we'll reduce it. Since there weren't a lot of successes, we'll reduce it down by 1, down to 9. So it's still a little difficult. Like you can't be sure that all, like you looked it over, but you're in a hurry. So you're kind of like, oh, okay, I think this is okay. Most of these ingredients look good. So that's what we're going to say is that, you've got that little bit of advantage going forward.
Could always test it on Zizi. It'll be good.
Do a little skin patch test.
Yeah.
It's like, ow.
So I'm thinking that we are approaching 3 p.m. I did forget to kind of warn everybody in chat that we might be doing like kind of a break. I'm thinking to give also our streamer Darren a little bit of forewarning. We might kind of intro into the next scene and then take our break, but not actually like pursue that scene until after we come back. We'll probably take like 5 minutes if that sounds good.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, so
Mm.
you go down into the tunnels and you take the maglev over, and when you get there, there's not a meditation circle running today. The tunnel that usually the meditation circle's in, you see candles and you see herbs that have been strewn about, and you see other things that are in the area, incense sticks and things that will help everyone concentrate, but there's not lit. Nobody's there at the moment. So you move past that, you go deeper down, and you find Awa's personal home. Which Alwa is the kind of person that lets people kind of come and go, so you don't really have to like knock, and especially a familiar face like Masi is absolutely invited to drop by anytime. So when you go in, you see him there, and you can see that he's in a meditative state. He's barely moving, or not moving at all, as far as you can tell. It's as if he was made of stone, but he's you know Masi from previous experience that this is just sort of his version of going into a meditative state, because he's also digitally run for the most part, or mechanically run, and so like there's stuff going on there on software and hardware that nobody really knows fully what's up with him. But as you enter, you hear some whirring sounds as you enter, and he looks up at you. And I apologize in advance if this blows out a mic. I hope it doesn't. But he looks up at you, and he greets you, and he says,
"Hello, everyone. Hi, Masi. It's good to see you." Greetings, Masi, and friends. What
Awa,
brings you here?
hello. I walk up and do the forearm greeting. That's about as close as a hug as you're gonna get from Masi. Um, and I um we are here. I feel like you might be able to help us. We've been tasked by Nijak to figure out what is happening in the city. I'm sure you're aware of plants are being tainted. The black, have you been in the black recently? It's, not working correctly. So just here to see if you have any insight and you might be able to help us, direct us to where we need to go.
So Awa nods and knowingly and rises to his feet. And he walks over to a nearby table, and at the table you can see that there are some plants, and he says,
I have seen inside the black and seen the strange changes that have taken place there. I have also witnessed the Adenadi shifting inside the plants. I know that there is something deeply wrong, so it does not surprise me that you have come here.
he kind of
Oh,
looks
no.
at you, and he looks at Masi and Natchu particularly, and he says,
I sense that there is something locked inside you that can give you insight into the things that are happening here. There is a root that runs underneath the surface from the black and the spirit world that connects what has happened now in present time to your own past, and I can help you see it if you'll let me.
Can we do a character break real quick and just applaud that awesomeness that's coming through that mic?
Yeah. It's very fun. I'm using
Sorry.
like every blurb.
Best day ever. Best day ever.
Best day. I have to agree. 'Cause I'm like, just
"Yay!"
keep talking. I mean,
I
you
want
can
to
do
play
whatever
this
you
game
want.
forever with you guys.
I'm like-
Forever.
I'm having trouble like paying attention because like I have it. I'm like gotta turn it up on the Twitch volume too, so I get to
Yes.
hear it like twice.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm so
Same.
glad. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yay.
Good job. Anyway,
Smash is coming back.
Yay. I just was excited to have an opportunity to do something that would be fun in an online format. You can't really you can't, I could have done this, but you can't do this like in an in-person game, right? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I'm glad it's that you like it.
Sorry,
It's
Sorry
fine.
to break character.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So Natchu looks and says, "You know the root of my problems, and I would be totally happy to learn it and use it to fix whatever I can, really, because I feel like this world does not have enough love and it's gone too far to greed. So let's put some of that love and the quirkiness together."
All of you have much love in your hearts, and you have much that you can offer to heal the world around you. The people who work against you, I sense, do not have such love and have lost their connection. They have no more roots that reach to love and community that you have all worked so hard to develop. If you will let me, I can guide you. We can enter a meditation circle together. It will be just us. And we can seek into the black and connect into the spirit plane and find the places where we can heal this pain and suffering, and you may find your next steps towards solving this problem.
Do it.
So okay. So he's I was like, he's basically, he's offering to walk the black with you and to run a meditation circle that will help you get insight into the situation. Trying to run these lines on him is also like, I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, if that sounds good, then we'll probably proceed into the next part, which has a little bit of a mini game element to it, so to speak. But we're gonna kind of like do the setup. So Awa guides you back into that meditation area that you saw before. And he, lights incense sticks and candles that are nearby, and there are cushions that he lays down for each of you and for himself. He settles into crosses his legs and settles into a meditative posture. And you actually notice, though, as he settles on, he doesn't actually touch his cushion. He sort of floats above it with a just a little. He's floating just a little bit.
Cool.
Just yeah,
Booty.
right. Yeah, exactly. Maglev booty.
Yeah.
So he basically, at this point, let's start with he turns to Zizi, and he says to them,
I sense you have a creative mind, a fertile mind that can help us in this cause. While you do not walk the black the way that I do or that Masi does, and you do not have as close a spiritual connection, you are creatively open in a way that others are not. And I would like to channel some of this energy through you, if I may.
I mean, Zizi would do anything that I would have them do. And they're still kind of like in celebrity shock, so they're like
yes, yes, yes.
and like a little bit blushing, like, "Aw, if I can even though I can't like walk the black, like y'all can. I can still contribute because Awa said I have like creative openness."
Picture you doing the silent fangirl scream.
Yeah, just like
it's Awa's intention. Like you get the gist that basically Awa would like Masi also has Walk the Black, and I think does Natchu have Walk the Black? I'm trying to remember if you also have Walk the Black. I don't think you do.
No,
I thought
yeah,
they
I
did.
do.
Okay.
It says
Oh, you do?
abilities walk in the black. Yes.
Okay. So what's basically gonna happen? He addresses Natchu at this point, and he says,
There is another role that you may play because while Zizi may serve in a way as eyes, you will also serve as voice. And if you come with us into the black, you will be able to manifest certain things along with Zizi, but in a different form. And Masi, it is Masi who has the deepest connection, the deepest root that she may follow to our goal. So she and I shall lead the way, while you and Zizi assist in opening the path.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, we got this. Go
Okay.
Zizi.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so the first step is I'm gonna have a Walk the Black check for Masi and Natchu, probably, to both do this.
Masi is real nervous about this.
Okay.
She's only done this with Awa and nobody else.
Hmm.
And while she has a budding or a tolerating affection for Zizi, Natchu and her have a very shallow healing relationship right now. So for Masi, like trusting Natchu it's a big deal at this point. Like I kind of make eye contact with Natchu and just kind of nod solemnly, like I'm not happy about it, but I'm taking that step of faith forward, that and letting go of some of the previous pain to make this work.
Yeah,
Aw.
this is definitely a vulnerability that you're
Yeah.
allowing your friends to see and experience with you.
And
Zizi's
Natchu,
got those like big eyes with the water in them, just watching, like,
Bring
you're so
eyes.
proud to be vulnerable.
and I mean, Natchu understands that that's the issue, and she nods at you to let you know that this is going to be all like as much caring and do you right as much as she possibly can, especially after just sneezing on you.
Yeah.
But at least it kind of healed you, right? And really just more of her just laid back style doesn't mean that she doesn't care, and usually doesn't hold on to madness or hate for a while. So,
Yes, yes. But
yes,
that for me is hard to kind of let go. So this
exactly.
is um it's a big deal for her to do
Oh,
this
yeah.
right now.
And she knows it. She got you.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Aw. Y'all are so great.
Is there
Uh,
a walking the black number?
I was thinking, I think what it actually is that there's a, I think that you have to just, you use a point of soul or otherwise, I'm going to look on this screen over
Oh, I don't
here to
remember
kind
how
of,
I think we use
abilities work. That's
mind.
like an ability,
yeah, I
right?
think it was like you use a point, let me see. It's in there. There it is. Activation is 1 point of mind, 1 point of soul. So it takes a little bit of a cost. But you can, make an effort to heal that later, and it'll allow you to, leave. I'm gonna actually, because Awa is here to guide you, and Awa is such a like long-term expert, I'm gonna say you can pick either a point of mind or point of soul, and Awa is kind of absorbing and supplementing
Mm.
the rest of the cost.
Amplifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So for the two of you who are actually like going to be in the black, yeah, you will just pick one of those two. And there is a dice check as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when that comes into play. I don't remember exactly. We've done it before, but I just don't fully remember how that happened. But
Well, since I kind of need my soul, mind or soul, the ultimate question.
yeah, yeah, which one can you afford to lose, I guess? Yeah, or which one seems more relevant, whichever.
Hmm.
Because you don't want to lose. Oh, I guess I could lose a point in my soul because it hasn't been hit yet. But
I'm
I
using
mean,
my mind because my soul is still recovering.
that makes
That's
sense. Okay, so
totally
I'll
fair,
do
yeah.
soul. Yeah, because I need my mind in the black.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So yeah, it does have that dice check in it. So like as you settle into the cushions, like yeah, each of you have given up either it's mind for both of you, is that right? Or no, mind for one, soul for the other. And there's a will check. It doesn't say what the success number is for the will check exactly. I assume just default or whatever I choose. So each of you make a will check, and because Awa is here, I'm going to make that a pretty low success number. I'm going to make that like a gosh, I would say it doesn't have to be very hard. I think this is going to be pretty easy. Probably a 5, and just make sure you make it in.
You tell me my will, please. Sorry,
Yeah, I can do that.
I still didn't print it
I just
out.
need to find my tab. There we are. Okay, Natchu's will is 3. So yeah, will checks are hard. We'll see how it goes. If it isn't, then we'll do it kind of as like a staggered check.
Mine's a
But
3
yeah,
as well, but I
yeah.
got
Okay,
I got a 5, 6, 8. So
okay, cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
you hit 5.
I got 11, 4, 8.
Okay, great. Yeah, then you're both like, yeah, you're both able to make this happen. So you settle in, and for all of you, you take a minute, you do breathing, you kind of just experience the real world around you. You pay attention to the sounds and the smells and the atmosphere. You begin to slow your breathing. You enter this more meditative state that kind of heightens this, and this is especially important for Zizi, because for Zizi to kind of operate as sort of a channel here, she definitely needs to be able to focus and be open. And so I'm gonna have you also roll something, ZZ. I just need to look at your character sheet here really quick. I'm gonna have you roll a wisdom for this, I think, and with a success number of 6, I think. Am I with everybody? Oh, okay. Okay.
Wisdom.
It's part of the mind stats.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay. Cool. This is just
So
to
that
kind
means
of.
I roll 5 dice. Is that right? Under the wisp, it says 5. Okay, I got 1, 2, 4, 8, 11.
Okay. Yeah, I think that pretty much gives you like a 1 success, but that's it. You needed that. You just needed this was pretty binary. It was like you just needed to not fail the check, so you're good.
Oh,
Yeah,
phew.
so you're like it's hard for you to concentrate. You're like okay. You're like, Zizi maybe is still
I mean, that makes sense.
right. Zizi's
They're,
like I
they're
have
so
so many things to
curious
pay
about so
attention
many
to.
things. They're like, wait, what's that sound? What is that thing? What is Awa
Yes.
doing?
Yes, exactly. So dropped something. For Masi and Natchu, on your side of things, you begin to see the black appear around you. It's foggy. Everything grows darker. The people kind of fade into the background. Your bodies fade into the background. Everything is somewhat shapeless, somewhat formless, and kind of anything that has Audinati in it is sort of glowing a little and has like that internal light that glows from within it.
The gem said Zizi puts in earbuds and listens to some dope trance music.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly, right. So at this point we have our screen share up at this point on the stream? We got that rolling? I have not looked over at stream yet. It will be now a good time to do it. Let's put it that way. It might be the time. There we go. Cool. Thank you.
Share.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So this is the kind of point where we're going to do a little bit of a mini game element. What's going to happen here is that I'm going to be providing some prompts to Emerald because Emerald is going to be channeling the visions that you are seeing, and she's using her creative mind. Zizi is using her creative mind to kind of visualize and bring forth things from Masi's, particularly Masi's soul and spirit, and so she's going to do that, and you're going to kind of be looking at that and interpreting what you're seeing, and Ala's going to help interpret and walk you through that. And Natchu will also have a role in a second, and I'll get to that. And Natchu will also be, because Natchu can see everything and will help shape this, but we're going to get there. So I see, woo! I'm going to give you your prompts now. You're going to kind of pick from this, and you're going to begin your arting process. If you can pick one of the things that I'm sending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I want to leave it open so you have an option.
I don't know how to draw that.
That's what I was like. Hopefully one of these at least will be something that you're like, I vaguely can do something like that.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
I appreciate that.
Okay, awesome. So
did you want me to start drawing now too?
Yeah, go ahead and start. And I'm gonna start. I'll talk, and it's like you're no rush, but I'll begin like kind of narrating some things for them as you're still in the process of drawing. Now they can watch it on my screen share, or they can join. Can you see my screen share? I can switch to this, or you can go to the document directly. Are you able to see it, Jenn, too? Okay, cool. Yeah. Just making sure everybody has eyes on that. So as you gaze out into the fog and the mists, Awa is close at your side. You see a shape begin to emerge and form, and it becomes more definite. And you see a creature, a being, an animal emerging forth. And what shape do you begin to make out? What does Masi see now?
It looks like an owl. I would guess an owl. A bird of some sort.
Yeah. Okay. So Awa sees this as well. The owl emerges and fully forms into shape, and it is this isn't something that can be done in this app, but it is purple tinged. You see the purple of the telltale marks of the Audinati that this so this owl emerges, and Awa turns to you, Masi, and says to you,
this owl has a connection to you. There is something, someone I sense whose soul touches yours. This, they have been present in your life, but perhaps they are distant or gone now. The, do you know, do you remember the owl? Does the owl have meaning to you or connection to someone?
So this is open to you, Tina, to describe what connection this might have.
Um, there's a so Masi has a moment of just silence.
Hmm.
um kind of an understanding of the connection is coming to her. Um the owl was her deceased partner's favorite animal. She
Mm.
didn't have an owl as a companion as I do with Ku. But there was a family of owls that lived behind our home, and she would go out and, she would commune with them. I never understood it, that kind of connection, but that was definitely that was her.
Okay. Do you that's great. That's perfect. Do you communicate any of this to Awa out loud or to the others in any way, or a short version, or do you just
um
confirm yes
I
there's a connection?
I kind of I yeah, I um Masi would probably um like make this like groan of like holding back pain again. It's so fresh. She just fed it to the raven witches, and it's
Mm,
there, so it's just like, oh. And then I would she would just kind of croak out um her name, which is Gatsikan.
Gatsukan. Okay. Gatsukan. So Zizi and Natchu, I think both of you have known Masi long enough that this name is familiar, and it's definitely familiar to Natchu. Like Zizi knew Gats for short, right?
Gats,
Is that
yeah.
correct? Gats.
Hmm.
And Natchu knew her even more than Zizi because Natchu actually was there at the end of Gats' life, when Gats was going. This was a really hard time, and Natchu tried very hard to heal the condition that the Gats was in, but nothing was working. Nothing you did worked. So for all of you, this is familiar. And Zizi was, friends as well with Gats, and so you all had that connection. So this hits pretty hard as you see this owl emerge, and it looks at all of you, and Zizi can still, perceive here, although less intimately, and less, you still see because you are channeling this through you. You see the owl and you experience it, and you all feel that presence, a warm and affectionate presence there. The owl turns and it begins to circle above you, and so the next stage is going to be where Natchu comes in, and I'm going to also send some prompts to Natchu, and if you're willing, you basically will pick one of the things that I give you in this case, and you can just sort of describe it, what you like, what you see there. Just give it some details, and that will be kind of what you do, because what you're basically doing is you're manifesting. So Natchu is kind of manifesting your own connection and all of your connections with Gats. So I'm going to send that to you now, and you'll pick one of these items, one of these things from the list, and begin describing when you're ready. Because I'll give you a second, because I'm going to say the owl flies, around you, and then circles, and then flies into the mist, and then comes out and looks at you, as it circles again, and then flies in again, and Ala looks at you and says,
As I think that she wants us to go with her. Are you willing?
Yes.
Okay. So you go ahead and you go into the mist and everything goes dark for a second. And oh, awesome. There's still more stuff even being drawn. That's amazing. Thank you, Emerald. That's good. I was wondering, I was like, there's opportunities for more details, but I didn't want to like be like, you should keep drawing. But that's great. So as you emerge, this is when you start to see the things form, a place take shape around you. And then I hand it over to you to describe what you see and what everyone sees.
The smell of fresh, sweet moss is the first thing we smell when we enter the world, along with a whiff, just a very light whiff of jasmine. As we look around, we can see all of the beautiful herbs growing nicely, from basil to thyme to crossbreeds, which have been a scientific thing for Natchu for a while. And we walk further into the world, we hear a small babbling brook and some personal plants of guts that they loved, such as flowers and things that reminded them of Masi. So, do I keep going?
Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. It's amazing. So you're
Sorry.
describing kind of a yeah, so this space continues and expands and yeah. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry. Just to add like a border around it, it is a personal place for Gats because it was where they planted a lot of their aggressions and their hard feelings went into the soil. So it offers a lot of love because of the emotion that was also there.
So this is a really familiar place that you've all seen at some point. And it's even somehow even more vivid here and more real than it ever felt in reality because it has all those feelings and both Gats and your own connected to it. Are there any feelings anybody's having as you enter this space that, memories or feelings that you want to share?
Masi and Tina at this point are full on crying. Like,
Oh.
Sorry. Natchu just brings you in.
Aww.
I let her. Or I let them. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on that one. Yeah. You're good. Yeah. So Alwa also reaches out and places a weirdly metal hand on your shoulder as well. He also met Gats a couple times, but very peripherally for him. It was before the cybernetics really came as a thing, so he would have met her maybe through spiritual circles. And so he is a little familiar with the sense of the person who is here. And so he says,
"This is a deep and important moment for all of you and for the spiritual imprint of Gats here in this space that connects us between our world and another world beyond our understanding. There is a sense of reaching, as if this is meant to connect you to something important. I sense an urgency in this space that she wants to reach you, but she also needs to show you something. And I think we must go further into this garden space and see what emerges."
and so as you look and as he speaks, I'm actually going to right now send a next prompt to Emerald because Emerald is going to have another thing to do here. And so let me see if I already copied it. Oh, no, I didn't. You're going to be walking into this space and you're going to continue to see beautiful, garden, and everything will be blossoming and growing. And the whole space is getting bigger. This is much bigger than you remember it being. Emerald, that's going to be one of those things is something that's going to come up here. So you can
Okay.
select as I continue to talk. And then, so you're kind of moving through this space. All of you are going forward. I mean, you can add those other ones in as details after if you want. How about that? Like,
Okay,
there's going to be one important one. Let's go with that.
Okay.
if everybody is, feeling ready to continue, because of course, Awa doesn't want to rush Masi, knowing that this is a really important thing, and this is the sort of thing that you can't rush. This is not a thing that you can just skirt by. So when you're ready, he patiently waits for when you're ready to move forward.
I'm ready.
Okay. So you pass additional beautiful plants and greenery and fragrant smelling flowers, and as you go deeper in, you kind of reach a cleared area, or somewhat cleared area, and there's something that you can see, a shape that begins to take form there in that space. It's another kind uh, of greenery that is familiar to you, something again, intimately. It reaches up towards the sky, and you recognize the beautiful yellow flowers surrounding its core of many seeds together, and you see a beautiful towering sunflower. Just a single, just abundantly beautiful sunflower reaching towards a sun that you cannot see. And Awa turns again to Masi as the owl flies in and lands on a branch nearby. The owl turns away from all of you, and it regards this sunflower sadly and looks upon it. And Awa asks,
Do you know this flower? Does it mean something to you or to Gats?
It was Gat's favorite flower, but I should have paid more attention to her favorite things. I don't know why we would see this. If she were here, she would know.
He is here with us in a sense, I believe. I I think she knows that you paid attention. You did, despite how you may feel inside, and I can sense your regret and your grief, and I think it may conceal from you the true depth of the love that you shared between you and the connection that you had, because we would not be able to see this flower. We would not be here together in the space if all of you had not had enough of a connection to Gats to bring this forth. So we just must open our hearts and our minds and allow for her message to reach us.
so as you watch, and this is up to Emerald whether she wants to try to represent this visually or not, but I will describe it and we'll see. As you watch, like I said, the owl has now turned its attention entirely towards this towering sunflower, and the kind of the texture and feeling of the space you're in changes. You all kind of get a sense of a little bit of a sense of dread and wrongness that fills the space around you. And that invisible sun that lit this space, that made everything so beautiful, goes away. And suddenly things are darkening. Yeah. And these foggy clouds and the darkness kind of closes in, and things feel suddenly very stifling around you. The sunflower now is kind of the only thing really left for the moment, and you see things beginning to happen to it. You see the leaves and the flowers beginning to curl a little at the edges and darken, and the leaves, or sorry, the petals that are darkening also begin to drop to the ground. There is something that is clearly wrong with the plant. Something is happening with it and changing it rapidly. And it strikes you all immediately, and Natchu especially, because of your own herbalism and connections, and also your connection to Gats. this is a very sick plant, and it is something that you have recently seen. This is a familiar scene in that you know that something has happened to it, and that its Adenati inside of it has been changed. And what you see now also is that as you watch this, as the flower begins to change and begins to darken and curl and drop petals, you also see that the owl looks back at you now, and the owl, their feathers are also dropping. Feathers are dropping from it as it looks at you and turns to you, and you can see that that is connected, and it's trying to tell you something about itself, about herself, about Gats, and about this flower, and a connection between them. So you see these feathers dropping and the flowers dropping. So at this point, kind of, Masi, I would say that you have I think you may have start to begin to suspect what might be being told to you. Do you want to like kind of? I would say Awa turns to you and says like,
"Do you know what this means? Does it mean something to you? Is there some relevance to what we are experiencing now? Because that is what I've sensed. There is something here."
I'm sorry, y'all, if this is getting too like too intense.
Who knew I'd cry at D&D today? Masi is a little confused. I think she knows in the back of her head what's being said, but she has held onto her rage and anguish for so long that it's taking her a moment to see and understand
Mm.
what's happening, and then to have the essence of Gats weaken and fall apart again in front of her eyes is just killing her.
Mhm. I'm taking it. I'm so sorry. I would say as Masi is still processing this, I would say that Natchu also has a memory at this point, and relates and sees, kind of remembers the process of Gats passing and some of her experience of that, and maybe if J Fun is in a place to discuss that and like go into a little bit on her perspective. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just making sure I wasn't gonna cough and then that ruined everything.
You're all good. You're all good.
Way to
Yeah.
ruin the sad moment with your
I know
inconvenient
a
coughing.
nice loogie just flies on the screen like sorry. No, Nachu realizes that the sunflower represents Mozzie, and that that was her beauty, that was her sunlight, that was her looking at when she needed to like think of things that make her happy. It was Masi. And over time, what has happened is, through all the anger and the sadness of losing someone so close to you, that there has been darkness that has starting to wilt her sunflower, making Gats's essence fall apart again, which is not ideal to Masi, because she realizes there's a lot of healing that needs to take place before we can continue on our journey, because we will be fighting somewhat of the same darkness out there, and we need to get our darkness in here in check.
I would say also that, like, yeah, this the feelings and experiences that you each take from this space can be different, right? Because this is like a spiritual plane connection. And so I would say that, like, you would all potentially gain and feel and experience something, a different angle on things, and you may receive, like, you may see different messages and receive different information that is valuable to you. And so I would say that Natchu right now is seeing this, making this connection of the healing that needs to happen internally and inside to be able to proceed forward. And I would also say that Natchu, you may remember when Guts was passing, that this feeling of this strangeness also is familiar. That the strangeness of what was happening to Gats and the way it didn't seem like a normal sickness also resonates with you, and so you kind of like, you feel that echo from the past as you look on this scene as well. And so Masi, you're kind of you're still struggling with that at this moment, and like,
I mean, Nacho, do you say anything out loud, or did you do anything in that process?
Just hold you tighter because I'm still holding on to you, and I just hold you tighter, staring forward, just in agreement that I understand what's going on.
So I would say that after a minute of letting her touch me, I like
Ugh.
gently kind of just like move her aside and be like, and it kind of clicks, and I say, Nachu, this this is what happened to Gats. What's happening to everybody else? The darkness, the weird spirit feel. This is what happened to her. It's the same. What's happening now is what happened to Gats.
It's tied together.
Gasp.
So we need to figure out how to heal it.
We couldn't heal it the first time.
Doesn't mean we can't heal it the second time,
We gotta do it now for Gats.
and for other people. Imagine
Meh.
what we're feeling now. I wouldn't want anyone else to feel that for losing somebody.
Yeah,
But
I
what does
feel
this
like
mean? I mean, the Raven people said people were responsible for this. Who who would do this to get everybody loved Gats? Who would do this?
Greedy,
And now her
selfish.
rage starts coming back, like, and
uh-oh.
she's now like pissed again.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think Zizi's brain is probably going a mile a minute because at first they were like, oh, this is sad. And then they were like, oh, this is really like serious. And they're like thinking about kind of how they lost their entire family when they basically like divorced them en masse because they were jerks. But like they're still alive, you know, like they're still there. It was a choice. Like they weren't taken from them. So that's kind of their like relation to what's happening. But then once it's kind of like made clear that this is what happened, they're like, wait, did like Gats know something, or was it just random? Was it just like the beginning of like whoever's doing this meddling?
Yeah,
Like
somebody
so,
did this. Somebody did
but
this to her.
but then
And
again, like
because
Masi
she might
said, like
have known
nobody
some.
would do like Gats was like a bright sunflower, you know, like they were a ray of sunshine who never, you know, so like Zizi's kind of like, well, it must have been like an accident or like like they didn't target her, right? And they're just like in a deep like rabbit hole of thoughts.
So I'm gonna say that, yeah, at this point, what you begin to notice is everybody's emotions and minds are suddenly very active and busy, right? And your emotions are swirling. Masi's enraged. Natchu is feeling this deep compassion and expressing this, love and care for her friend and her lost friend. Zizi is reevaluating a lot of things and just questioning and really just, so everybody is thinking a lot, and so the scene and the air and the black and the nature of it begins to distort and change a little, and it's obviously being influenced and affected by emotions that are happening. And Awa at this point speaks up and says,
there is much to process here, and there are many feelings that I can sense from all of you that have altered the state of the black that we're within. But there is a little more I can sense just ahead. There's something else. One more thing.
and at this point the owl the owl comes back into focus as everything else kind of is still breaking down. And the owl, it leaves its perch again, and it seems to restore. The feathers are no longer falling off. The scene is changing again because this is all transient, right? This isn't, this is not a permanent representation. It's this place is not on the timeline in one specific way. It's not going one direction. And the spirit world is just wacky anyway. So things are just kind of shifting. So as the owl flies around, I'm going to give one more. There's a final prompt, and this is to Natchu, and this is something that Zizi Emerald can also potentially draw, depending on. We'll see. Let's go one thing at a time. Natchu, you're gonna describe something that I'm about to send, and I'll let you know when to kind of start in a second. So I've sent that prompt to JFun, and as the smoke and the fog kind of swirls again and everything in the background kind of disappears, there's just that patch where the sunflower had been, a bit of greenery, a circle of greenery that is there. The owl kind of flies to within that circle and approaches it and lands just outside of it on an invisible branch, because there's no more greenery, no more trees or anything on the peripherals, but it just lands kind of suspended in air. And it looks at you, Masi, and then it turns and rotates its head and looks down again at the spot where it had been, and you kind of see something beginning to form and take shape there on the ground. There's something there that appears in that place. And Natchu, you're feeling it into existence, right? Natchu is again connecting and forming like a bridge here for Masi and Gats in a way, and helping Masi connect with her own feelings and allow this to become clear. So Natchu, go ahead and tell us what is there. What do you see? What do you all see?
It appears. It feels it feels shiny, like new, like stepping out of a nice lake on a spring afternoon. It's light, but it feels strong. There's a strong sense about it. And as it starts to take form more, it is shown in a heart shape, and I can just sense love and pride and joy. And as it becomes more defined, I notice the little ridges around it. They feel like rough but smooth, like part of a machine, like it's supposed to go somewhere to form more love and happiness.
So this is that's really good. So this is what about what like size is this thing that you see?
It's small. It's about, guys, I'm so not good with inches.
No, you're doing this is great. You've been doing great.
Big.
Okay.
You say it's small, and
Perspective.
Emerald looks up like, I just made a big ass heart on it.
Okay,
It's perspective. It's much
No.
closer than the owl.
Than
So
it
Yeah,
appears.
exactly. It's perspective, and everything's really weird in the black, right?
Exactly.
here's a representation of it on the owl.
On the owl, yeah, there you go, yeah, exactly.
It's like this.
This is good.
Okay?
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that. That's a great description. So this is it seems to serve a purpose. But it's got full of love. It's a representation of love.
As
Yeah.
this thing comes into being, Masi starts unconsciously walking forward.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something I can pick up?
Yes, yeah. You reach forward, and yeah, you can grasp this thing, and you feel a sense of encouragement in it, just from the air around you. Basically, you just feel it, an outside sense of encouragement and yes, do that. Yes, is what you
Okay,
feel.
so I walk up to it, and then how close am I to the owl?
The owl is, let's say, a few arms lengths away, pretty close. And it is watching you with big, beautiful eyes, big, beautiful owl eyes, that are full of so much intelligence and affection as the owl looks down on you. And as you pick up the object, you feel it feels warm in your hand. um you you look up at the owl and you feel suddenly a familiar embrace around you, and you just feel enveloped in this love and affection. And it's as real as if it was the day that you last held Gats, and that she is embracing you in that moment, and just filling you with love, and so much love. And this also extends to Zizi and Natchu, and they also suddenly feel warm and loved, and just as if they're in just the right place in this world. And Awa kind of closes his eyes as you all experience this moment together, and things begin to swirl and dissipate, but you still feel that love as everything fades out and you fade back into the real world. And within your hand, you still feel that small object. And as you come out and you look and you open your eyes and look around you, everything, you're back in the tunnels, you're back with the the meditation circle and all of those things. And you still feel it there. It's there. You have it in your hand.
Aww. I think Zizi's also crying, but like is unaware of it. Like there's just like tears, and they're just like, "Why is my face wet?"
Um, if we're all like awake now, I will take this thing and just kind of give it to Awa and ask like, what is this? I don't understand. I've never been able to bring anything back from the black, so and then I just hand it to him.
Okay, yeah. So Awa takes this small object and takes it into his hand, and kind of turns it over a couple of times, and seems to kind of start to recognize things, because he starts nodding as he looks at it. And then he says like this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he says,
This is something that maybe you didn't know that you had the power to interact with, but it is something I have given you a way to connect one last time, and you may see something from this device. I think that your cybernetics will allow you to connect to this, and it will fit into a place that I've left for such a connection to be made. And you can use this to view something. It contains data, it contains information.
Stick it in your eye.
I was just
I
trying
take,
to like.
I
I
take
was
it
trying
back.
to think how it would connect. I'm not sure if it would be like a wireless connection, maybe, or if there's something
Or it's
like
a CD you just pop
I-
in and
I have
Right.
well, we have our arm things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my
Mhm.
cybernetics are connected to that. So I take
True.
it back from him and just put it in. It fits in the slot that we normally use for, even though it's odd
External
shape.
data. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it slides right in.
Oh,
Mhm.
good, because like Zizi
So
didn't really want to like just grab the thing and then be like, "All right, hold still," like,
So I
because
put
that's
it
what they were
in
picturing.
immediately. I don't even, and I'm ready for whatever. What do I see?
Okay. So
Maybe I'm ready.
so you have this sense of kind of viewing this through your Nisi, through your arm device. You kind of get this sense projected projected vision, projected as if you're viewing a screen. It's not like being the black. You don't feel like you're there necessarily. It feels like you're witnessing.
Is it something
And
that only I can see in my eye, or is it projecting through my eye into the room?
that's like, let's go with that because that sounds pretty cool. I would say,
Okay.
yeah, because then
So-
everybody, like, it connects through your cybernetic eye, and you
So,
know,
like, movie nights are gonna be great. Like,
Yes.
Like somebody banged me upside the head and suddenly Princess Leia's there on the stone.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you didn't know you were C3PO, but here we are. But yeah, I would say that, yeah, this scene is projecting and you're all able to see it together. And to be able to, and also audio plays probably from the arm device that accompanies the scene that you see. And it seems to be a recording, and you recognize immediately the room where Gats had been while she was beginning to become sick, and you recognize, your bedroom, your shared bedroom, and you see flowers around the room. You see, of course, a sunflower in a vase on a desk. You see the light that's coming through the windows onto this space. You can see Gats. You see her. What does she look like? What is just a couple things about Gats? What did she look like?
She is the same height as I am. She was always even though we were similar in build, she always had more of a grace to her. Whereas, you know, I'm not clodding around, but I'm very purposeful. That's part of my nature as a scout and going places. And she just seemed to ballerina glide around a room. Um, she had blonde hair. It was long, but she kept it in multiple braids all the time. And she wore knives on her arms, like throwing knives, but she would always dress very feminine, even though she could, be just as deadly as I was, am as I am.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you see her there, and she's still, though she is lying in the bed and is beginning to get sick. You see her there, and her knives are not attached to her right now, as she's in, but they're there on the table next to the sunflowers. You see her knife, her favorite knife there laid down. She still wants it in arm reach, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course. Her hair, is wavy from the braids that were there, but she has taken them out, or what have you, for the time that she's been in bed. You can see the sweat on her brow. You can see, the beginnings of her sickness, and you can definitely see the signs. She definitely looks frailer. Her movements are still graceful as she turns the pages of a book. But she coughs a little and continues, and then continues to read, and then you hear the door open to the room, and someone appears, and this is someone you recognize, but only peripherally. She has so many features in common with um Gats. She has the same blonde hair. She has the same, a little bit of the same grace that Gats has, although not quite to the same degree. She's more nervous in the way she carries herself, more tense. And she approaches, and she says, Gats looks up at her, and Gats acknowledges her, and says, "You finally come to see me." And this woman, this person, you can see tears in her eyes, and her lips tremble, as she looks at Gats, and she says, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know this would be what would happen. We're just trying to make things better. We're just trying to make the world the spirits all. And this was just, we were just trying to show everyone, but we thought with you we could help somehow. We thought that we could make things better. We didn't know it would do this. We didn't know. She told me it would be different. And Gats nods slowly and says, I know you didn't know. And I just can only ask that you don't continue this way anymore, please. Please don't hurt anyone like this. You've seen now what it will do. You've seen what it's done to me. I won't tell anyone, but you have to do better. You have to stop her. You know you have to stop her. And the woman just looks at her silently and then finally rushes forward and embraces Gats, and there's that clear familiarity in you between them and love between them. But Gats, looks sad, looks at where the camera is, looks at you, or through you, I guess, as she's, as she's looking. And the scene fades out, and you hear Gats's voice, and she says, Masi, if it ever comes to pass, I'll find a way to get this to you to make sure that you can stop what's happening. I have to trust that you can find them and you can stop them. You've seen her now, it's dangerous. Please don't let this happen to anyone else. I love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And then the voice fades out and the scene fades out.
Ow.
I
Zizi's
Masi
like, did Gats have a sister?
Dun, dun,
Masi,
dun.
by the way, has Gat's knives, and the big one that was on the table in the vision or the projection is always on at her side. And as she was watching this, it's sudden, like it's in her hand. She had inadvertently like pulled it out, like ready to use it when she saw what was going on. um I'm assuming that I know who the woman was. I mean, it looks like somebody, a relative of her sister, her mother,
Right. Yes,
cousin.
you recognize her as her sister. You only met her a couple of times. You didn't, like, they didn't run in the same circles because, as you know, your Gats was a musician, correct? Gats was in a very different line of work than her sister. And her sister was in science. She was a scientist. And so you know that much. And this is kind of like, yeah, you have been given this piece of information, this connection. And so Awa kind of looks now, and Awa like places his hand over yours, kind of with consent. Like, he waits for a second to see if you'll kind of let him, and he places his hand over yours, and he says,
She has reached through time and space to give you this message because she knows that all of you have love and a desire to do better, and that you will not let injustice be wrought upon this world and upon the souls of the living in our community of Cahokia, and you won't let this go on any further. So it is a great burden, but it is also a great gift that she has given all of you. I hope that you will know what to do.
Well, we need to find out who this she is. That
First thing we need to go do is talk to Gat's sister.
First thing we need to go do is all drink some calming tea.
Natchu is like, wait.
Everybody's like,
Let's
put the
all
knife
back up,
down.
check ourselves, and drink some tea.
It's always a good idea to drink some tea.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say that, at this point, Natchu is kind of encouraging, like, and with good reason, seeing like how taxing this has been for all of you emotionally, and for, I mean, even Zizi, as Zizi is like, looking and feeling your own thoughts about your own, experiences, and you're making some connections yourself that you're processing, and Natchu is also processing her own grief for this friend that she wasn't able to help, and of course, Masi, I mean, you're just filled with every kind of emotion that you could possibly feel about such a thing. And so I think Natchu is wise, and Ala kind of seconds that, and kind of encourages you to now take a moment to rest, take a beat, so that you can, move forward with a clear head, because that's what Gats would want, is for you to do the right thing, and to also look after yourself and care for yourself, so you can do better as you move forward. So I would say that's kind of where we're going to fade out at this point. And, everybody's processing their emotions.
Cliffhanger again? She's like, who is this she? We must find them. Justice. Take the knife away.
It is. Oh, I'm getting some siren background. So I don't know if that's ominous, or I don't know if it'll come through. But But yeah, so I would say, yeah, there's a lot of emotions, and will hopefully not be this deep and this heavy next time. I hope this has been okay.
2 times in a row, you guys have made me cry.
Well, now we just have
record.
to.
Yeah.
Now we just
So
gotta keep
good.
it going.
So good.
So yeah, like we'll figure out another time. This story will continue, and we hope everybody will hang in there. And it won't always be deep and emotional and processing lots of emotion, but sometimes, because
Fighting next time. I mean, more comedy.
next time's just a complete slapstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zizi slips out a banana peel.
Exactly. Yes.
They do 2.5.5 says do the jump.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope that next time is 2.75 or 3 or something, that we'll be able to kind of see a way to a conclusion of this particular. You never can predict. We'll see how it goes. But
it needs to be like story 2, episode 1, or so. I don't know.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming that. Yeah. So
which is so cool.
Thank you all very much for playing with me.
Hey,
and
yeah, thanks for being an awesome
claps
storyteller.
or whatever for Christine. Yes, the story is amazing, girl. It's so
I know,
good.
right? It's so good. I feel like emotionally
Aw.
healed though. Like, oh, I cleared my skin, my crops are flourishing type of
Yeah.
like
Liz?
meditative,
You have a
like
wonderful
healing.
DM, so.
Thank you. I'm so
I've
glad
been
you've all
coughing
been
easier this whole time. So
Oh my
it's like a cough
gosh.
drop for you, like
For the
Yeah.
soul. So
like,
for
a
the body.
cough soul, yeah.
For the coughs. Yeah.
like this has been an amazing collaborative experience, and so yeah, I really think you've helped it become an amazing world. Like, it hasn't just been me, like, you're all adding so much into the storytelling, and I just think it couldn't be like at all like this without all of you. So you're doing awesome, and yeah, your characters are incredible. So yeah,
we're having fun. We have a good time.
Yeah. So we're gonna continue in the future, and we're going to, I think, do a raid. Maybe there's some folks that are available for us to go and visit and chat with a little bit, and so if we want to kind of make our way out.
Meander. We should talk about what's on the GeekGirlCon this week.
Thank you. Yes. I've got
Tuesday
that story
is
guide brain.
Sci-fi or short story sci-fi with J Fun and Emerald and Tina. We're actually all gonna be on there. Yeah. So sci-fi shorts, join.
That'll be our next one.
And and then I think after that is Risk of Rain 2 stream, co-op game, and then so please tune in for those. The sci-fi stories will be awesome. We've done like scary story version of this before, and that was really, really fun. So I can only imagine it will be super awesome. And yeah, I think I'm not sure who we are rating.
That's Rudolph.
Okay,
Rixel.
okay.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, cool. We're gonna head
Okay.
Ruxel's way. So everybody give them a warm hello and greeting and check them out.
Will do.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so much for joining
tuning in.
us.